Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the Sea Hurricane Mark 1C. Yes, the Cannon Cane 3.0 battle rating, a plane we all know quite well and is beloved, I would say. I really like this plane. It has a few hundred horsepower less though in the engine compared to the Hurricane Mark 4 that we reviewed the other day. And it's a little bit lighter, so it has a little bit mixed comparison when it comes to performance to that plane. It is worse in the vertical though, and in sustained turn fighting it cannot keep its speed up as well as that one. But that one has heavier guns, and this one is a little bit heavier because it's a Sea Hurricane. So in the speed department it has mixed results when it comes to that, but I like the steady performance of this Hurricane. I can say that is definitely one of the good things of this plane, the 20mm guns, and 4 of them. Who does not love that? I mean, yeah. Anyway guys, do make sure, if you do enjoy this video anywhere along the line, to give it a thumbs up. Do leave me a comment. YouTube really likes that interaction, and so do I. I really try to respond to every comment and really appreciate that support. Also, join me on Locals and Rumble. Rumble will be my backup channel when it comes to content that is on YouTube. And Locals will be the hub where you can support me and where I will share more personalized content. I might even do a face reveal there. Who knows? We'll see. But do join me there. I really appreciate it. And let's get those things going. Alright, so the Sea Hurricane, in performance, the speed department, let's go there first. The maximum speed at sea level without WEP is 393 kilometers an hour, with WEP 427. At 4,500 meters she'll go up to 376 without WEP and 395 with. And finally at 6,500 meters she can take you to 346 without WEP and 350 with. Now this is in indicated airspeed without Mach. Top speed in a dive is 627, that is equal to the Hurricane Mark 4, and 670 for the rip speed lies around there. It can be 675 one time, 666 sometimes. Anyway, it is not fast, that is for sure, especially at 3.0. I mean the Hurricane Mark 4 has reasonable speed because it is at 2.0, and it will be at 2.3 I believe pretty soon. So, but it's not fast there either. But at 3.0 this becomes a little bit of a slow plane when it comes to that, because you're facing way better opponents, especially in up tiers 4.0. There's some radically faster planes there, so yeah, you're gonna have more troubles in the speed department there. The control stiffening in this plane starts at around 400 kilometers an hour for the aileron compression. 500 it's a more severe tick. The elevator stays functional up until the rip speed, so you can definitely pull out of dives in time if you pay attention. There's no problem there. Stall speed is around 120-ish. It's a little bit worse than the Hurricane Mark 4, so there is that. Firepower is excellent as well, I would say, in different ways compared to the Hurricane Mark 4, which also has excellent firepower, but it is still excellent with those 4 20mm. I used, well, it has 4 20mm Hispano Mark IIs with 125 rounds per gun. There is several belts that I think are very usable. Starting with, I started with the stealth belt, that's what I'm using here. It has a 50% high explosive filler incendiary shells, and then that is added to with a SAPI round and an AP round. If you want to go for ground pounding, you have the ground belt with 3 times armor piercing, a high explosion shell and a tracer shell, and then you have the air targets with 5 different shells, a tracer, a heavy SAPI. So that's like 2/5 high explosive, and the rest is armor piercing or tracer. The default belt also has 50% high explosive in them, but it has 1 practice shell, and practice shell don't do what you would expect from a shell to do damage. So you're basically running with 75% effective shells there. It's not good. Tracers, I don't see the benefit of them, and the universals neither. If you have different opinions on them, let me know, but I think stealth, ground targets and air targets are the best belts, and you should stick with those 3. There's no bombs or rockets on this plane. So yeah, I don't think it's very effective in close air support. It just has the 20mm guns, might be good for soft targets, but you might not have that on every map. So yeah, I don't think ground RB is something that this plane will find a home at any time soon. But average ammo load on the plane with excellent firepower, that is definitely for sure, and that is its main strength, these 4 guns. The acceleration in this plane is decent, both in a straight line and in a dive. The energy retention in the horizontal is only average, and in the vertical it's bad. In a sustained turn fight it is more difficult to keep the speed up in this plane. It also overheats slightly faster than the Hurricane Mark IV, so it is less good there. In the acceleration it's quite similar, but it's also a little bit less good. And in the vertical it just bleeds a lot of speed, because it does have a couple of hundred of horsepower less than the Hurricane Mark IV, as I said, so that's a big difference. The climb rate in the plane is also bad, and you do not get that air start that the Hurricane Mark IV has, and that really compensates, especially on the maps that plane flies at with a 2.0 battle rating, soon to be 2.3. But yeah, without that air start, man, I mean, the climb rate is really bad, and you really need to side climb in this plane if you want to use it as a boom and zoomer, for example. And the boom and zooming is more difficult because it doesn't zoom up as easily with that missing horsepower, basically. So yeah, turn time is still decent though, good with flaps. The flaps rip off at around 410 kilometers an hour. You have a below average roll rate, unfortunately, just not something the Hurricanes do well, right? Overall maneuverability in this plane is average, I would say. But as I said, with flaps the turn time can be good, and sustained is a little bit more difficult in this plane to keep that up because of the problems with the engine. It does overheat a little bit quicker, and it doesn't give as much power, so you have that. Now there is overheating, as I said. It is very present with web. You get very quickly into the red when it comes to that, but it's still manageable, and I haven't run into many problems in it when it comes to that, overheating the engine or something. It's a durable plane, as all Hurricanes. It's very sturdy, and this is a sea Hurricane, so it might have some reinforcements here and there to go for the carrier landings, but yeah, it can take quite a bit of damage, and that is nice. I have flown home from across the map with engine damage several times, and it just made it home. Sometimes if you're really far it goes from yellow to amber at a certain point, but most of the time it stayed in the amber the whole time, so I was quite happy to see that. And it is something known about the Hurricanes, right, that they have quite a little bit of stability in it. Survivability is good. Repair cost, the repair cost is 2,763 Silver Lions, which is about average, I would say, at this battle rating. I looked at quite a few planes. There's nothing bad about it, but it's not spectacular. The rewards, though, that is where the sweet part lies of this plane. It has a 384% multiplier on the research points and a 165% multiplier on the Silver Lions. Now this research point multiplier is absolutely spectacular. It is fan-freaking-tastic. I have checked most other nations and checked their 3.0 planes to see what was there for research point modifiers. I've seen a couple at 280, 290, but I've seen nothing in the 300s, and this thing sits at 384, almost at 400%. So this is a great research point collector, let's say, and it does quite well, at least it did for me. So if you have to think about research points, I would definitely consider this plane as one of your main planes for the ranks, but I'll get to that in the rank reviews. But this is definitely something spectacular, this research point modifier. The Silver Lion modifier is still very good as well. It's still one of the top ones out there when it comes to 3.0 planes in rank 2. So there is that. Both multipliers are good, but the research points is spectacular. Okay guys, so this is a turn fighter that can boom and zoom, only the boom and zooming has become much more difficult in this battle rating. You get a problem with the speed at this point with the Hurricanes 3.0. Especially in up tiers, you get the competitors with high speeds, which really go 100, 150 kilometers an hour faster sometimes. And well, it is not a problem that is unachievable to overcome, but it's definitely becoming more hard at this battle rating to deal with planes that are speedy, fast, and that are flown well by the pilots that fly them, because that is always a thing, right? Meet an equal pilot in this Corsair, for example, and I would be dead somewhere along the lines pretty quickly. He would be untouchable for me, basically, if flown correctly. Of course, he's not going to fly it correctly, and he's going to give me a chance. But hey man, we can't complain, right? You can only defeat what's in front of you. So it can boom and zoom a little, but that's not the role for this plane. It's a turn fighter. It cannot energy fight for the life of it. So be aware of that. Really not good as an energy fighter. So yeah, turn fighting is where your sweet spot is, luring people in and then getting these guns on the target as they start to turn with you, preferably with a higher speed and more compression than you, so that you have easy overshoots and stuff like that. Okay, let's have a look at this screen. It's for the 4-kill match that we have this final blow. Terror of the Sky, bulletproof, 22,000 Silver Lions and 13,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. The Sea Hurricane Mark C is definitely an interesting proposal because of the battle rating compared to the rewards, compared to the performance. It's really the edge of the Hurricanes when it comes to having a good experience. And you come up to planes that are really much better than you, especially in up tier. So you're gonna have to make it work, but it's definitely possible to make it work. It can turn. It is definitely a plane that has the firepower to protect itself, and it has the survivability, the durability to take a bit of damage while you scuffle with people. This is definitely a brawler, a turn fighter, and it can't do much of anything else. It's not great as a boom and zoomer, although you can always boom and zoom. You always want to have at least a little bit of energy on the field, and I do a little bit of side climbing, then go in, wait a little bit, be patient, and then come in. It's still preferable to come from above and to have the superior precision, but it is also dangerous in this plane because if you have, for example, an air cobra below you, they keep up in the vertical so much longer than you that you really have to be careful with energy fighting and vertical maneuvers and stall maneuvers and stuff like that. It's really risky, let's say that. This plane does have an insane research point modifier or multiplier, and it is absolutely spectacular. It is fantastic, absolutely. You just have to look at that. This is going to be your main plane, I think, when going to the tree as a fighter pilot when it comes to that. But there's other planes that are nice and good, so let's get into that. But yeah, I find it a really nice plane, an interesting plane, and an enjoyable plane. But it might not be for everybody. It is definitely not one of the top performance at its battle rating. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.